Okay.
So I'll just write this down.
What makes Andela epic? The people.
You're given the opportunity to grow into whatever your potential really is.
It invites innovation, talent, and diversity.
Andela was born of a simple premise. Brilliance is evenly distributed, but opportunity isn't. Our mission is to connect talented individuals to roles that can be done anywhere you want to be.
Andela supports work-life balance by providing opportunity to work absolutely remote, and it gives us an opportunity to have a family life, have a personal life, and still be extraordinary in impacting the lives of our talent and our clients.
I really got hooked on Andela when I heard about the mission. Connecting brilliance to opportunity, regardless of race, gender, or geography. That got me hooked.
I have joined Andela as I come from Brazil, and I have been impacted directly by being connected to opportunity that wouldn't exist otherwise in my local country.
What do I love most about my team and department? The people.
Everyone just works together so well. They really respect one another's opinions, and it truly feels kind of like a family. It feels like home.
We act as one group, one team, and we all help each other succeed.
Why should I join Andela? It's a great question. I would turn it around and say, why wouldn't you join Andela? We have brilliant people that you get to work with every day. We have a mission that is at the core of every single person who works here. And every day you learn something new and you have a new challenge. And at the end of the day, you're making the world a better place. One moment, one meeting, one laugh at a time.
So what made me join Andela? A legal statement in my job description. The legal statement was all about why we want you here. And it was all about all the traits and characteristics that make up humans. And when I read that equal opportunity legal statement, I actually got a tear in my eye. And it ended with, Andela is home for all. Come as you are. And I knew that I was home at Andela.
How would you describe Andela in one word? Diverse.
Collaboration. We solve solutions together.
Flexibility. I would say inventive.
Brilliance.
Opportunity.
Epic.
The future of work.
Innovative. Impactful.
Hope. Hope that when I look back on my life, I can see that I have done something meaningful with it.
You're not discriminated on your age or race or color or tribe, or whether you're male or female. You just come there and you're a superstar doing your thing and making an impact globally. That's Andela.
Hi everyone, welcome. We're super excited to have you join us today. How is everyone doing? Hope you're feeling good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Aderemi and I'm a talent success partner here at Andela, and I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. I would say it's one of the best cities in the world. I'm just wondering, where is everyone from? I can see in the chat box, I see Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, Sudan. Wow, that's amazing. Please keep it coming. I would like to know where everyone is from. We have an amazing audience with us today, and we're so excited. As you can see, I can't even hide my excitement. So I would like to know, how many people know about Andela? I know you've probably heard it here and there. How many of you know about Andela? Please just let me know in the chat box if you do know about Andela. Great, amazing. I see that. Perfect. So I will just still talk about Andela just in case some people do not know or you don't know everything we're about. Andela is a talent network that helps technologists find good jobs at top-class companies. We pride ourselves in our ability to connect brilliance with opportunity while supporting you in growing and expanding your career. We have an amazing community where you can interact with other Andelans, share ideas, access mentorship programs, and upskill through our partnerships with learning platforms. Just before I go on, in case you can't hear me clearly, there is a volume thing just below the screen that says stage. Adjust the volume so you can hear me okay, right? So that's it for Andela. Brief introduction about us. And at Andela, we are committed to gender equality and empowering women to take the center stage. We know that the tech industry is mainly male dominated, and we understand how difficult it can be for women to gain the recognition and success they deserve. So we created the Women Lift Women series to offer female technologists the chance to learn from the best. So far, we've had two amazing sessions. The first one happened in November, then we had another one in December. This is the third session, and we are so pumped about it. Today, we have an amazing person who is going to be the speaker. She's a senior counsel here at Andela. Her name is Hilary. Hilary believes that curiosity and friendliness are great assets for career development based on her 20 years of professional experience. Now tell me, just imagine the wealth of knowledge we're going to get today. She began a legal career as a litigation associate at a mid-sized firm in Virginia and then moved to a boutique law firm in northern New Jersey. Realizing that litigation was not the best fit for her personally, she embarked on a new career journey into consulting into different areas of the law. By taking this less conventional approach and building on her relationships, she led her first to consulting, where she was able to gain experience with a variety of companies and co-workers. Eventually, she became the vice president of legal at biotechnology company, PDS Biotechnology, and finally to her current role as senior counsel of corporate and securities at Andela. She is totally looking forward to hearing your stories in this interactive session. Over to you, Hilary. We're so happy for you to join us.
Hi, thank you so much, Adrami. I really appreciate that lovely introduction, and thank you to all of our attendees for coming here today. It is so thrilling to be here with you from people from all over the world and to get to know you. We are here today to talk about networking, which can be sometimes an uncomfortable or scary topic. But I want us all to feel very open and comfortable today and sharing in the chat. And as you may know, we will be using our network analytics to determine who is the most engaged person attendee today. And then we will get to have a special one-on-one session to help you, build your network, work on your elevator pitch. So that will be a very exciting continuation of our discussion today. So I hope everyone can hear me and see the slides. We're going to start with our agenda. We're going to talk about some of the challenges of networking, the benefits of networking, some tips and step-by-step practical advice and resources that you can use instead of speaking about it just theoretically. It sometimes is putting that pen to paper in the LinkedIn or the Andela chat or the email that can be sometimes overwhelming. So we'll get over that hump today. Then we're going to talk about your elevator pitch. That's how you give a short and compelling synopsis to get a conversation going, to get people interested and moving forward. We're going to do a little bit of role playing for you guys today. And then we'll close by sharing more about our communities at Andela. So networking gets real. Okay. Let me begin by telling you how I am here having this amazing opportunity to meet you all and speak with you about something I am passionate about. You are a collage of your experiences, and it is intertwined with your roots and connections, and this is your network. Adaremi will tell you more in the presentation about the importance of an elevator pitch. My elevator pitch is, I am Senior Corporate Counsel at Andela, where I apply nearly 20 years of experience counseling leaders to find strategic solutions to address business issues in contracts, SEC regulatory compliance, and corporate governance. Prior to Andela, I led the legal department for a publicly traded company. As each of you know, there is so much more. I want to share some of my bigger story with you so we can get to know each other and feel comfortable sharing in the chat. Please share what brought you here today, something about yourself that you would like to share. I am from Michigan, and now I live in New Jersey, near New York City, with my family. I am a mom of 2 wonderful kids who are ages 9 and 11, and that has shaped my career. And I want to be open and honest with you and people about that, because having children is a fact of life that will impact your career. And having a strong network of support can help keep you on track if you're stepping away or stepping back into the professional realm. I went to university near where I grew up, but I left home and went to law school in Washington, D.C. at American University. I met my husband there, and we lived and worked there for several years. It's a wonderful city. As Adrami explained, I was a litigation attorney and went to court and did depositions. I developed these skills, but I wasn't happy with the direction because I have a very collaborative personality, and so much of litigation is adversarial. So maybe you're in an area of engineering or software development, or you want to get more involved in learning areas of expertise. And, I want to share that it is possible to make a transition. It can be difficult if you are having all your experience, let's say, in one developer language. But if you are willing to take a risk and you have that capacity and support to, invest the time in yourself, it may seem like you are stepping back, but sometimes it's okay to step back to step forward. So eventually I took a risk and made a big change. I left my job and started consulting for clients in other areas. And this is where I really learned the impact of networking. Through networking, I learned about a company that was actually very similar to Andela, but for lawyers. I gained experience working with different clients, and I started supporting the general counsel of a newly traded biotech. It was a long-term engagement, which is very nice because Andela provides the same opportunities for long-term engagements for consultants. And I was able to build really solid relationships at the company and learn and grow professionally. Eventually, the company went through a merger, the general counsel left, and I was hired to take his place. I was vice president and head of legal there for 3 years before I found my way home to Andela. I hope that some of this relates to you, even though you are in a different field. The point is, the journey is rarely a straight line, and you will need help along the way. You might take risks or move in a different direction. You might have setbacks. With a strong network, it will be easier to get back on track and meet your career goals, and you are likely to meet some very cool people along the way. So we've just come into 2023. You maybe have a New Year's resolution to build your network, make some new connections, and renew old connections. So let's start by asking you all some questions. What do you believe? Why would you put yourself out there for networking? What are the benefits that you know about for networking? Let's take a few minutes and let people respond in the chat. To explore new opportunities, a road to wealth. You can't really do life alone. That's true. It gives us access to information, access to growth and opportunities. These are great responses. Thank you. That's fantastic. What do you dislike about networking? So, networking is about building relationships with people who can help you. And there are benefits of networking, but it can be very hard. So, if anyone wants to share some of their hesitancies or concerns about networking, or a little challenge that they're facing, please share it with us. Social anxiety, dealing with imposter syndrome, people's attitude. That's so true. You have to talk to strangers. You have a fear of failing to do something well and the consequences as a result. You're afraid you'll say the wrong thing or forget or stumble over words. And you can see how many people feel this way about networking. So chances are when you are reaching out to someone, they will have a positive reaction because they are seeing that you are willing to take that step. And it can be difficult to come out of your comfort circle. I am actually an introverted person. I prefer to be at home with a book, but I find when I do make that push myself to get out there and put myself out there, it really is so positive and the energy can be great. So, although it may seem intimidating, making connections and finding the guidance you need to thrive is essential to reaching your career goals. Do not let fear or anxiety hold you back from this really important tool. Networking is a means to add value to others and will return positivity to you. So, let's talk about what has worked for you for networking. When have you put yourself in a networking situation and it's worked out well? Or when have you put yourself out there and maybe share something that didn't work out for you with the group? And that way we can all learn or make suggestions. So some of you have recently moved and you're working on new projects. That's great to see. And networking has opened more opportunities for some of you and helped you grow career-wise. Oh, great. That's how some of you learned about GADS 2022. Fantastic. Working on your personal brand, build your career and your CV, meeting a mentor. Wow, that's fantastic. I can see that some of you have really felt the benefits of networking, and hopefully everyone here can see the good outcomes that can come from this. So you should know that research shows that 85% of roles are filled through networking. So if all of this has not convinced you to overcome any negative feelings you have about networking, then that should. So let's talk about what is a networking mindset and the growth mindset for networking that will help you feel more positive and motivated. So the networking mindset involves curiosity. You're interested in meeting other people and expanding your knowledge. You're compassionate with yourself and with others. You might stumble or witness someone else stumble over their words or not know what to say. And that's okay. And you can give people the benefit of the doubt. First impressions are important, but they're not everything. And we've all been in situations where we may not be our best selves right away. You are generous with your time and with yourself. You have to invest the time in networking. I think for me, I find that to be the greatest challenge, is setting aside that time in your busy schedules to do that. And then sharing yourself with others. Having a network mindset involves being brave because any kind of growth involves risk of putting yourself out there and exposing your experiences to others. And so good for you for putting yourself out there. That is being brave. Being open-minded and saying yes and staying positive, even going out to a networking event if you've had a busy day and you're tired, just making it a priority and finding new ways to stay engaged. It's really the power of yet. You may not have this skill set or this developer language yet, but with tools that you can find through the Andela learning community or in other ways, you can get there. You may not be there now, but you have a plan, and that's really the power of yet. So as we've talked about, networking leads to greater learning opportunities, broader career prospects, access to leaders, insights, and of course, more immediate job options. So let's talk about some networking tips. It's great if you can network even when you're not looking for a job or clients. It's less pressure and just really good career hygiene if you can do that. You can help battle your loneliness and your network's loneliness by reaching out. Not everyone will respond positively, but enough will that will keep your network momentum going. Volunteer for projects that present opportunities to work with people you might not normally get a chance to work with. It's a fantastic opportunity for lateral networking. An example here is getting to do this presentation. I've been able to work with some really amazing people at Andela that otherwise I might not have gotten to work with. So it's been really fantastic, and I'm so glad I've been able to do this. So let's talk about some ways that you can leverage your network to grow your career. You can use your network to learn and exchange expertise with others. You are most likely to learn from former colleagues or peers and friends with whom you may have lost touch. The people who you are not engaging with might have the most to teach you. Reconnecting allows you to exchange information, share knowledge, and introduce each other to new skills. This is called network intelligence. So maybe you can share in the chat, we'll take a moment and pause here, how you might do this. How would you learn and exchange expertise with others? How have you done this in the past? And, share that experience with people in the chat so they can see. Volunteering at a tech community, that's fantastic. Yes, the problem is establishing a great connection without, disturbing someone or feeling like you're bothering someone. Being introverted, so networking is not so easy for you. Yes. Thank you for sharing. This is really, really great. And this engagement is, your input is really, there's someone else out there who is feeling just like you are. And seeing your comments in the chat is making them feel like there's a community already out there for them. So thank you. You should look beyond your circle and reach out to people with different backgrounds and cultures and geographic ideas, people with different abilities and skills from your own. So then we hear about social media and an echo chamber. The same is true with networking. So if you can, think about maybe someone who has overlap with you, for instance, someone who you've worked with in human resources, that's very different from possibly your skill set as an engineer or developer, but they have so much knowledge and experience to share with you about what an HR team is looking for. So that's one example. re-engaging with weak ties. So you can, think about people who maybe you've lost touch with. This is one of my goals to do this year, is to do more engagement with my current network by sending a friendly email and setting aside that time to catch up and offer for a few minutes to connect on Zoom or over the phone. And if they're local and after the Zoom call or phone call, maybe you guys can plan to meet up somewhere. So let's see. The next thing is to use your network. Consider using your network to help other people. So you're not always asking for something when you're networking. This is sort of the long game of networking. Everyone has challenges and needs help with something. There is a name for this. It's called help fluency. It's a range of ways you can be helpful to your network beyond making connections. So you want to think about your long-term career goals and identify people in your network who can help you in the future. Set aside, time with a paper and pen and a cup of coffee or tea and just, do a little brainstorming. Think about what you're good at, what you like to do, and what other people often ask you for help with. People want to help each other. It benefits everyone. Think about your skill set and offer to share with others in exchange for their knowledge and expertise. This can be skills and experience beyond your core competencies. So we have so many talented people here on the call today. Maybe share some of the skills and experience that you can think about right now that you would share with your network. So we'll give a moment for people to respond in the chat. Community volunteering. Yes, that's a great way to put yourself out there and help while networking at the same time. Great. You can offer information to help someone design a better presentation. You can offer to provide them feedback or provide each other feedback on their bio, their elevator pitch, CV, something else they're dealing with. You can offer to connect someone to the right person for a job that they might be interested in, or if someone's looking to fulfill a position and you know someone with a similar skill set. Even just offering to listen or give a pep talk, that's really important. And networking in that way, does definitely have positive benefits. By using your network to help others, you add value and empower others, and it will come back to you. When you help someone, they will remember and they are more likely to help you. This is called reciprocity bias, and it's real. You will feel great, and they will remember your positive impact. You can use your network to sharpen your communication skills. Networking allows you to sharpen skills that will help you in every other part of your career. Persuasion, curiosity, confidence, and executive presence, which is learning how to speak engagingly and keep the attention of an audience. Identify one or two communication skills you'd like to improve and share them with the group today. So some of these are technical skills, and those are so important. And equally important, as you all know from joining on the call today, are those soft skills. And we'll talk about that more. Adrami will tell you more about that in the presentation later. Your writing skills, very good. Communication in social media, confident communication, persuasion, these are great. Other examples are improve your listening without interrupting or describing what you do succinctly. You can practice those skills during an upcoming network conversation. Part of networking is being a good listener. It's to listen to the needs, values, pain points of the person you're speaking with or engaging with. You want to share your ideas without dominating or oversharing, and you want to lead with curiosity. So let's talk about where and how you might go about networking. So really think about networking as something that happens everywhere. You can start with your own company and community. Start with Andela. You have an amazing global community of people with similar interests, and there is so much to learn and share. There is, of course, LinkedIn. That's a very important and essential tool for networking. And you also want to complement that with the Andela platform via the Andela chat, which is for the talent network, and the Andela learning community, which is for everyone. And we'll talk about that more toward the end of the presentation. But think about, even those three opportunities for networking and what works best for you. Connect with your peers to give you a different viewpoint and talk to them about what has served them in their careers. That's a great way to start your networking conversation. Not all networking is in the professional realm. Connect to family, friends, classmates, teachers, other parents. This really isn't only for work connections. Think about people you know outside of work. You may not think so, but you already have a network. It's the constellation of peers, classmates, and bosses you've had in your life. So how can you get started? How can you move forward with your networking goals? Make sure your profile is up to date. Even if you've done this in the past, every 6 months, take a refresh and see if there's any new skills or any changes in your goals and how you want to tailor your profile to that. You should include a professional looking picture of yourself and a summary of skills and other interests and job experience. It should mirror your resume and your Andela profile. You don't want to have, things come up and be inconsistent, and then that could be something that you have to explain later. Then start reaching out to people you know and have worked with. You should write a personal note with your request to connect. Be friendly and also professional. You can follow professional societies and thought leaders and try to attend opportunities for training and seminars. Keep in mind that when you're networking, you don't have to overinvest either. These people don't have to become your best friends. The goal is to learn new perspectives, have interesting conversations, and learn new things from each other. Rejection will happen, and that is okay. This is normal and means that you are aiming high enough to achieve even greater success. Focus on the people who are interested in making time and show enthusiasm. So let's talk about a step-by-step plan for networking. You might set a budget, maybe nothing, maybe, a little bit set aside for coffee every other week, or some other activity, or set aside, for a small stipend for additional, training or meetings or conferences where you can socialize in a networking environment. Thing is to find that time, is to budget the time and set it aside in your calendar every week or every other week. Even just block out time in your calendar on your phone and try to make that a priority. Figure out who you want to invite. So this goes back to our brainstorming and looking back through some of your connections and maybe thinking outside of the box. Then send a personal message. We'll come to some examples in a few slides about how to do that. Before meeting, you should read up about the person, do your research, and think about, what commonalities you might have with them to get the conversation going. and think about why you're meeting with them. You want to be on time, of course, and then you should be prepared. Spend some time before the meeting and think about what is your goal for the conversation. Think of questions you will ask and what you want to tell. So, what are some questions that you might ask someone you are networking with or in a networking environment? We'll just pause here and let people share in the chat for a moment. These are some great questions. How do they set up their daily, monthly, and yearly goals? What is their daily motivation in their field? That's so true. You don't want to just reach out. You want to reach out with a person that aligns with your goals. Great input. How can I use my little skills I have in the industry to expand upon that? Thank you. After the meeting, you would like to send a personal message with a thank you note. That's a great follow-up, and they will remember that. So thank you for your contributions. These are some great ideas of questions to ask while networking. You really want to go deeper and listen and respond thoughtfully. This will result in more engaging and memorable and fruitful conversations. So some of you mentioned, you would like to find a mentor, and so if you're doing that, you want to reach out to people who have experience, but who also, look like they might have the time to mentor. Maybe someone who is retired or someone who has other volunteer experience in the past, or who has mentored others, and maybe is not currently mentoring anyone. So let's talk about some of the questions you might ask that can help engage a potential mentor. So you might start off with these easy questions in these small talk that you'll see, like, what do you do? What is your current role? How's work going? Where do you work? How long have you worked there? Where are you from? Those are superficial questions, and they're a bit closed. So someone can answer the question, and then there might be some kind of like awkward pause that we've all felt in a networking situation. So you might want to add some of these to your conversation arsenal, your repertoire. What problems do you help others solve at work? What is top of mind to you right now? Is there any type of support you need right now? What challenges have you been grappling with at work? People will be happy to share with you. Everyone wants to talk about what is bothering them, what's in the back of their mind, and that will lead to your input and advice, and possibly how you might help them with their issue. What aspects of your work energize and excite you? Is there anything you don't like about it? What roles have you had before the one you had today? What did you like best? What are some of the places you've lived and traveled in your educational and career journey? Do you have a favorite place? What are you most looking forward to in your career? What's the next thing you want to cross off your bucket list? When have you failed, and what did you learn? You can ask questions that are non-work related too, and this helps make the conversation more personal about books, movies, hobbies. Deeper conversation results in deeper and memorable connections. Go with a curious mindset and come prepared with a few questions. It will distract you and your conversation partner from feeling anxious. Ask open-ended questions and leave room for the conversation to flow. So, what to say when you're reaching out to someone to network? Be clear about your goals. If you're reaching out to someone for a reason, let them know in a polite and no pressure way. For instance, if you're requesting an endorsement or recommendation on your LinkedIn page or to make a connection with someone they know, then ask straight out. No one likes to be blindsided. If you are direct and specific about what you are asking for, there's no room for ambiguity. It takes the work out of it for the recipient and creates an environment for a confident and thoughtful response. This makes for a more productive and efficient communication. Be polite and courteous and acknowledge if you're asking for a favor. I'd like to share some examples with you from a recent article in Harvard Business Review by Christy DePaul. So it can be hard to write these initial outreach communications. And these are some ideas or templates for, something you can use to get you started, because that first step is sometimes the hardest. So you'll see examples here of someone who's interested in following a similar career path and looking for advice. You can see someone who is looking for advice on her resume, and you can see someone who is looking at a specific role in a position at a company where this other individual works. So these are, short, polite, they get to the point, and I hope that, some of this will be useful to you all. So now we're going to move on to the next stage of our presentation, the elevator pitch. And Edaremi is going to share some really exciting and important knowledge with you about perfecting your elevator pitch.
Hi, Hilary.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Great to be back here with you. How are you doing?
Good.
That was an amazing session. Very insightful and educative. Thank you for that. So now we'll be talking about the elevator pitch, and it's actually really important. You could see from what all Hilary said, networking is key. So you should have your elevator pitch ready. So we are going to do a role play. I'll just read out what the context is. So Aderemi is at a networking event. So this is me imagining I'm at a networking event. So I want us to all have a mental picture of how this would play out. And she's seated at a table with a number of professionals and executives from different industries. She does a quick scan of the name tags at the table and realizes that she's seated next to the CTO of one of the top global tech companies. She sees this as a fantastic opportunity to introduce herself and talk about what she does for her company. What does Aderemi do next? Okay, so we're going to go ahead with the role play now. Right. Hi, my name is Aderemi. It's lovely to meet with you. I work at Andela. I'm a talent success partner. And before then, I used to, I've just really been in the customer relationship management field all along. And before then, I studied law at the university, but then I thought to switch my career. Andela has been great. I've been here for a year. I think that we have fantastic people. The culture is amazing. Getting to work with talents excites me so much. It's just been an amazing experience. So, right, yeah, I just wanted to say hi. Okay, then, bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Hilary's facial expression said it all, but we would like to see what you guys think. So put it in the chat box. Let me know what you think went wrong. What you think was wrong with that? How well did I do? It wasn't that bad, was it? Let's just have the feedback. Right. Not direct. And what exactly? It wasn't interactive. I didn't allow the CTO to respond. Mouthful, not engaging at all. That's it. It was absolutely terrible. So what we're going to do now is to share some tips with you on how you could improve your elevator pitch, things to look out for, and some tricks that you can have. Okay, so what is an elevator pitch? Elevator pitch is a short, memorable introduction of yourself and what you do. So think about it. When you say short, we're thinking 30 to 40 seconds, right? Sorry. We're thinking 30 to 40 seconds. And the goal is to capture the attention of your audience and earn a second conversation or meeting. From that previous role play, I mean, it's okay for you to talk, but at least watch the body language and the person that you're actually speaking to. Are they actually interested in what you're saying? So the first step is introduction. Yeah. This could start off as a greeting, formal or casual, or a question. So you could start off with a question that would open up for further conversation. The more personal it is, the more natural your pitch would seem. Body language and eye contact are important. So if Aderemi was paying attention in the previous role play, she would have seen that Hillary had lost interest in what she was saying. Hillary was basically rolling her eyes. So I should have been able to see that, and I should have been able to, adjust myself. Hillary will take the second point here.
So you will present a problem and a solution. This could be a problem your company is trying to solve or the problem you are able to solve with your skills.
That's right. And the step 3 is value proposition, also known as the hook or your unique selling point. Basically, why you or why your company. So what is it that makes you outstanding? What is it that makes you special? What is it that makes you or your company have a a differentiating factor from your competitors? So that's the value proposition. And the last point, Hilary?
You want to include a call to action at the end. Don't leave your listener wondering, so what? Instead, end with something that moves the listener to take an action. Have a meeting, exchange contact information, bring them to a website to learn more.
Very important. And as Aderemi finished that role play, you saw that she was just like, hi, it was lovely to meet you. Exactly what was the goal of that conversation? Why were you even introducing yourself in the first place? Next slide.
So here we're going to hear from someone who is an expert in elevator pitch refinement. And there's a gentleman there who is an experienced autopilot and is starting a new company. And he's going to get advice about how to portray himself to potential investors and clients that will be most advantageous. So you can see how he was able to transform this gentleman's resume into a compelling short bio.
Right. So that was an interesting one, and you could see how memorable that was. I'm sure they would always remember him with that kind of pitch. So first thing you need to know, we're going to talk about some tips on how to put together your elevator pitch. First is an average person's attention span is about 8 seconds. This means that you have to capture the person's attention fast. From the first 10 seconds of my conversation, I had already lost Hillary. So first thing first is the tip is stick to the outline. It's always great for you to have your outline and memorize it. You memorize the flow of your pitch. This is so that you don't forget something. I've seen, times where you try to introduce yourself to someone and then later you'll be like, oh, I should have said that. I should have added this. But if you have an outline and you follow it, then you should be fine. Hillary will take the second tip.
Keep your pitch clear and concise. You want to make sure it's short, goal-oriented, and free from jargons or acronyms that raise more questions or may be distracting to the person you're speaking with.
And tip 3 is to pace yourself. No rambling, speak slowly. For people like me that speak really fast, it's something that you need to be aware of. The first role play was just a mess. She was just rambling on and she wasn't speaking slow enough for Hillary to even capture the information she was trying to pass across.
Next, you should practice your elevator pitch because you want it to sound very natural and part of you. It should just roll off your tongue and be available to you at a moment's notice. And make sure you share your elevator pitch with someone who knows you well and can help give you pointers on the best presentation.
By the way, this is from the Devil Wears Prada movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's an amazing movie. Hilary, what do you think about that clip?
Yeah, it really shows that you have to be prepared. Most of us are not Meryl Streep with two assistants waiting to tell us who is approaching us at a networking event. So it really shows how you really have to be prepared.
Exactly, that's it. Be prepared. Practice, 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 like Hilary said. Now we're going to try to repeat the role play, trying to put into practice everything we've discussed so far, and then let's see how we do. Okay, we're ready for the role play now. Hi, my name is Aderemi. It's lovely to meet with you. I've heard amazing things about your company. I work with Andela as a talent success partner, and my goal is to ensure that we meet expectations at all times. Andela actually solves one of the major problems that tech companies face today, which is how to get the best technologies on board. We pride ourselves in being able to connect brilliance with opportunity, but beyond that, we provide a support structure to make sure the technologies are fully embedded with your internal teams. We currently work with over 400 companies with a 96% matching rate. I would love to tell you more about my company and how we can support yours. Are you open to having a coffee chat sometime this week?
Yes, I'm so glad you told me about Andela, and you really have done your research because those are challenges that I am dealing with on a daily basis, and I'm always looking for help in those areas. Yes, let's exchange information and set up some time so I can learn more about Andela.
Amazing. Looking forward to it.
Great.
All right, guys. Thank you. That's the end of the role play. Let's have it in the comment section. What do you guys think? What do you think was the improvement from the first to the second? I can see everyone saying that it was great. That's amazing. Amazing. Okay. Thank you. Love the comments. All right, guys. I think we can move on to the next slide. Okay, so Hilary, when you were speaking earlier, you did touch on soft skills, and I think it makes sense for us to actually talk about it because it's actually very, very important. I put some soft skills on the slide here. We have communication, collaboration, proactiveness, adaptability, problem solving, empathy, and networking. We have, lots more, but working closely with talent. So at Andela, I work closely with talent to ensure that they are meeting expectations, make sure that there are no performance concerns, and they are excelling in their engagements. And one thing I've noticed is a talent can have amazing tech skills, but they can have really bad soft skills, and it doesn't work out well. So here we're going to just compare talent A and talent B. So talent A has great technical skills, but terrible soft skills. And then what that basically meant was, his tech stack was great. He aced his interview, but when he got on the engagement, he started having challenges with communication. He was like a lone wolf. He wasn't being proactive, basically just not doing things right and not working as a team. There was no collaboration. Obviously, that affected him on that engagement, and we unfortunately had to roll him off. Meanwhile, talent B had great tech skills, great soft skills, and she excelled in her engagement. She was proactive, she was a leader, and she was communicative. So she gave updates on everything she was working on. Now, this is basically two talents. I would even say talent A had better tech skills, but the soft skills just messed up the whole engagement. What do we take from this? As much as you concentrate on your technical skills, I know that everybody wants to upskill, you want to do better, you want to learn one programming language or the other. You need to also pay attention to your soft skills. One of the things you can do this year is to, make sure that you learn some soft skills. There's LinkedIn, there's Udemy, there are a lot of learning platforms that you can leverage on. Also, you need to get feedback. So you can get feedback from your colleagues, your friends, your peers, your managers. Sometimes we don't even know we're doing something wrong. You need another person to say, hey, your communication skills are not great. You need to work on it, and be receptive to feedback. So I know that we had seen earlier, I think a lot of people wanted to learn communication, writing skills. I read all of those comments when Hilary was going through her slides, but you need to focus on your soft skills as much as you're focusing on your tech skills. All right.
Thank you, Adrami. That's so true. So we'd like to share with you some Andela community updates as we close our presentation. That went by so fast. It was not enough time. But you all have the opportunity to attend more sessions and learn more and share more with this amazing community in the Women Lift Women series. The next presentation will be Talent Wins Games, Teamwork Wins Championships on January 31st at the same time, 2 p.m. GMT. The next session is Overcoming Imposter Syndrome in the Workplace on February 9th. And the next is The Leader Within You on February 23rd. These are fantastic programs that really flow and build upon one another and will put you in a great position moving forward. I'd also invite you to please visit our Women Lift Women page to register for these sessions and to watch past sessions that have also been amazing and will really help you in your professional development. Please consider joining the Andela chat. That is our first app in-house communication for the Talent Network. So if you're within the Andela Talent Network, please go ahead and check out the chat. You'll find a lot of amazing people to talk with. If you are not in the Andela Talent Network, please join the Andela Learning Community. These links will be presented in the chat, and you can open the link and select your country, and there you will have an opportunity to have various groups for communication and improving your soft skills and your technical skills. There's so many opportunities in the learning community. It's fantastic. So I'd also like Adrami and I and Andela would love to thank you so much for your time and your presence and your really enthusiastic participation today. That is what made this a great presentation. And please, please take what we have shared and discussed and go make those connections.
Thank you, Hilary. Thank you for the amazing session. I know that we do have some questions to go through, and then we'll just take the questions now. And for all unanswered questions, please, we will cover them on the Q&A post on the Andela Learning Community, and this will be shared with you all in a follow-up email. Thank you so much, guys. Hilary, would you like to take a couple of questions?
Sure.
So the first one, okay, can you see it? Can you see it?
Yes,
okay.
Networking tips on LinkedIn for introverts. So I would say that a good approach for that is to, first of all, start with people, of course, that you know or have a connection with on LinkedIn, and maybe practice with someone who is more friendly toward you or who you know well, and then move on towards someone maybe that's a more distant connection and you don't know as well. The good thing about LinkedIn, when you reach out, you'll have time to think about what you want to write in that initial email, and it can include your elevator pitch. It should be friendly, and you can use, the same message essentially, and then slightly tailor it for the person you're reaching out to. And then, start with maybe an email exchange if you're a bit shy, and then move on to a phone conversation or a Zoom conversation. I think I just read an article about the power of the 8-minute conversation. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to feel anxious about having to fill, 30 minutes or an hour. Just start with 15 minutes and maybe build your endurance that way, and your comfort level. Let's see. Yes, this session will be recorded, and this will be available on the page that we told you about, the Women Lifting Women. And you can see the past sessions as well. Okay, and the next question is how to effectively connect with people, how to get the conversation started. So Adaremi did a great job with that second presentation of the elevator pitch. She had done her research and really took it from the perspective of the pain points and problems of the person she's speaking with, so that they wanted to continue the conversation. And to get the conversation going, you do have to be a little bit outgoing, and willing to put yourself out there and take that risk and be brave. And I'm sorry if some of you have felt like you've had some rejections in the past, but know that we've all felt that way, and that eventually, and without too much effort, you will get to that person who wants to take the conversation with you. So you should feel, don't feel discouraged, and know that this positive momentum will build on itself.
Thank you, Hilary. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for your participation. We are at time. And for all unanswered questions, like I said earlier, we will cover them on a Q&A post on the Andela Learning Community, and it will be shared with you in a follow-up email. Hilary is going to close the meeting now and let us know, there's a gift, and we're going to be using our platform analytics to decide who would get the gift. So Hilary, if you can just touch on that, and then we can close the session.
Yes. So after the presentation today, we will look at the platform analytics and then reach out to the person who was most engaged. We have so many fantastic engagement and input here. And then we will get to have a follow-up one-on-one conversation scheduled with us.
Fantastic. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.